Hi everyone. So I titled this video, Get Out Your Flashlight, because I'm going to ask you to be brave. We're going to get real courageous. Maybe more courageous than you have given yourself permission to be. We're going to be shining those flashlights underneath our beds, in those back recesses of our closets, really into the darkness. And you may be wondering, am I ready for this? Am I prepared for this? And guess what? You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't ready for it. Okay? So you're just going to have to trust me on that for now. So I want to start by telling you all a story, tell you all about a dream that I had last fall. A few months ago. In this dream, I was wandering through a kind of a warehouse, a storehouse for a company, and it kind of was like kind of industrial, kind of empty. There were several rooms. It was pretty dark, and I came across this shelf with a doll. It was kind of like a naked Barbie doll, and it was kind of like tipped over, and its hair was all mangled, and it was just kind of laying there like it had just been kind of neglected for a long time, kind of like Barbie dolls that have just kind of been sitting around a pile of dolls for years and not played with. Their hair is just a tangled mess. Their clothes have been stripped off. So there's this doll. And I looked at the doll and I said to myself, with this sense of knowing that this doll represents my brand. And it doesn't make any sense of why that was. It just was. The dreams are nonsensical, or they don't make linear sense when we're having them. So I just had this knowing, and I reach out to grab this doll and take it. And as I'm reaching out for it and about to touch it, it came alive, and its hand grabbed onto my hand. Its teeny little hand grabbed onto my hand and clasped, like grabbed on tight. And as I tried to pull away, because I was very scared about this doll all of a sudden coming to life, it dug its fingers, and which kind of now felt more like talons or claws, into my skin, like tearing open my flesh. And I could feel the searing pain from this, my flesh being ripped open by this doll. And all of a sudden I had this sense and this feeling that this doll was evil, was satanic, and I needed to get away from it right away. It was this panicking feeling of like, and at that moment I awoke. And when I awoke, my hand still hurt, and I was just completely startled by this sensation of evil within me, right? That like somehow my dream conjured up this feeling of evilness, and which is not something I often experience. And so I had to sit with that dream for quite a while. And I should say also in this that I don't actually believe that evil exists in this world. I know some people do. I don't. And so coming face to face with that visceral feeling of evilness within me I was really taken aback by it. That this thing that I don't feel like exists in the world, even though there are very completely awful people that do awful things, that to feel that sense of something that feels so not allowed coming forth within me was just so startling. So what I came to see through sitting with this dream was that satanic evil child was actually a representation of my own inner child. And that evilness that I experienced from her was a mask of that she was wearing, of her perception of evil. And it was as if she was, she was grasping and grabbing at my attention. She was saying, please pay attention for me, to pay attention to me, and please take this from me. Right? I came to see that through really sitting with the dream, drawing cards, opening into the compassion for this part of myself, because I knew that if I was able to kind of work through this and really come to terms with that part of myself that was there, that I would have to integrate it and accept it, and I would have to kind of turn towards it with compassion. So with compassion, then I was able to see that this actually belonged to a perception that my inner child had been holding. That there was something that happened to her, that happened to me at some point in my life, that made me feel so ashamed that a part of me actually believed that I was bad, like bad to the bone. And I couldn't tolerate this experience of feeling this way about myself. And so I pushed it to the back of the storage room where I wouldn't have to feel it and experience it. But as I did that, I also locked a part of me, part of my own vulnerability, part of my own inner child back there. And she's been sitting back there thinking that she was evil this entire time. So all of this is leading me to ask you a question. I want you to ask yourself, I want you to fill in the blank to this question. It would be so awful if I blank. It would be so bad if I fill in the blank. What would it be? What would make it, what are you not allowing yourself to be? What is it that you would think is like not bad for you? And I'm not talking about serial murderers, that kind of really, really inhumane, repetitive behavior, right? I'm not like going there. I'm going to things that are personal to you, that are so bad that it is just not allowed. And I want to ask this because so many women that I know have experiences of this similar to I did with the dream that I had about my inner child and that evilness. So many people I know have dreams where they experience an aspect of evilness, or they might draw a tarot card, like for example the devil card, and they holding on to this belief that this represents an aspect of evilness within them that they need to now get rid of, or that they're so scared of that they just want to kind of push back away, right? And so my question for you then is there a way where you can look at it instead as your own perception of evil, your own perception of what is bad, so bad that it could never belong to you? Because we experience these moments in our dreams, these moments in reflection through the cards sometimes, but then we also experience these moments through experiences with other people. We project these things onto other people. So if somebody else has the potential to make you feel awful, then you also have the potential to make yourself feel awful. What you're experiencing from them is also within you. And I'm going to give you an example. So I have incredibly low tolerance for mean people, people who are mean. It really, really gets to me when people are mean to me and cut me down, make me small, insult me, do things that will purposely make me feel bad. I get incredibly hurt. I get incredibly angry. I really shut down. And I experienced this while I also know that the reason why I have such a hard time with that is because what's actually happening is that meanness, another person's meanness, is actually reflecting my own internalized meanness, the ways that I am mean to myself, my own shame. And so whatever I'm experiencing outside, it's actually inside. And so this is where it gets really vulnerable. This is really, really vulnerable work to be able to actually accept the ways that we harm ourselves, to integrate that, to come into relationship with those parts of ourselves that are self-harming in a way where we are not responding to that self-harm through guilt, through blame, through feeling more awful about ourselves for treating ourselves this way. That doesn't help, right? That just continues this cycle of blame, of shame. But it's so, so vulnerable to be able to hold those aspects of ourselves and accept them and soften into them. And the way that we can begin doing this is the reason why those parts of you that are hiding deep within the closets, that require the flashlights, those are just a small part of you, right? I mean, there's so much more that's forward, that you're presenting to the world, that you're experiencing in your conscious life, so much that you're experiencing in your unconscious life as well. And so it requires from us a great degree of trust that we will be able to hold these prickly, icky aspects of ourselves. That's also an incredibly vulnerable thing, to be able to trust yourself. But I'm here telling you that you can, because when you do, and this is the point of trust, and this is the leap that you make, and I know that it is a leap to make this, and so I can't say it any other way than just to tell you what I know to be true, that when you make that leap, all that part of yourself that loves yourself so much, you love yourself so much. I know you love yourself so much. And when you are able to take the risk of owning those prickly parts of yourself and bringing them into the light, all that bigger part of yourself that loves yourself so much will be able to hold it and contain it. And that is when you are able to transmute what you had previously experienced and labeled as evil, as bad, as not allowed. You're able to transmute that into a wound, an emotional wound that needs your healing, that needs your compassion, that needs your love. That's the softening, that's the opening. That is the gift of being vulnerable with yourself and taking that risk. All right, so that's today's video. If you'd like to learn more about me and the work that I do, please visit dreamintuition.com. I don't even think I introduced myself at the beginning of this video. My name is Charlotte Alea. This is a video series on embracing vulnerability, on allowing ourselves to take ownership over our emotional vulnerabilities and to discover the power in that. All right, I'm an intuitive counselor and self-discovery coach. You can also find my group on Facebook at the Sacred Sojourner Space. And I look forward to reaching out to you again in the third video. The next video is where we will be exploring how to hold and contain and work with that ickiness, okay? How to get a little bit of creativity going and a little bit of exercising our own abilities to work with and to hold and to work through difficult emotions. Okay, I will see you then. Bye.